Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, here to share with you our latest issue, the Last Minute Thanksgiving. Yes, this is truly a last minute. It's much more casual than many of the demonstrations that we've done previously. This assumes that Thanksgiving is almost here, because it is, and the time is getting short. There's so much to be done, the house to be cleaned, food to be cooked. It's hard to save time out to decorate the tabletop. Now, if you're like me, that comes first. Cooking and everything gets pushed to the side. But unfortunately, most people put the food first. Why, I don't know. But if you are like most people, and you're scurrying around and you think, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to have time to decorate the tabletop? Here's some fun and easy tricks that you can use to make it easy and effortless and beautiful for the Thanksgiving meal. The first step is to commandeer the troops. Anybody who shows up early, put them to work. The kids, grab them, put them to work. Husband, him too. Anybody that's not helping you, that you think might maybe get in the way, send them off. Give them a bag. Even the littlest ones can take a little bag, maybe a basket. With the bigger kids and maybe hubby, send them with a great big bag and send them out on the hunt, on the prowl, for wonderful findings in your own neighborhood, almost like a scavenger hunt. Look for pods, cones, feathers, treasures, rocks, anything that they think is interesting. Send them off, and they can't come back until their bag is full. So you want to pick the size bag that'll keep them busy for just the right amount of time. Then for you, sit down, put your feet up. It may be the only time the entire day that the house is quiet. Get yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, turn on the music, and relax. A few vital minutes before you jump in and get going again. When they come back, get a big box and just dump out all their treasures. Take a look at what they have. Ooh and ah, make it valuable that they brought it back to you, because it is. It may be simple things. Maybe they found colorful leaves. Hopefully they didn't denude the neighbor's plants, but beautiful fall leaves, just a few different kinds. Adding those in with the findings, oh, it'll be so luxurious. Maybe they found some rose hips, other berries, things that have gotten colorful on the trees. Maybe it's an old stick. This is a piece of kiwi vine. Maybe they found some driftwood. Maybe they found some bark. Maybe a pod. Now this, maybe they found in your junk drawer. Probably didn't find it out in the neighborhood. Pine cones, probably found that. That could be in your area, all different kinds. Maybe little buckeyes or horse chestnuts or sweet gum pods. Maybe even some acorns. So many different treasures. Then add to it with findings that you have. Maybe you've got some treasures, some orbs that you've got in a junk drawer. Or, I found this at the farmer's market a couple of years ago. You're supposed to make tea with it. I couldn't imagine doing so. I just thought it was such a wonderful shape, and I saved it. Add it in. Too much fun. If you're lucky, maybe you'll find a bird nest. And this one just gorgeous. This was saved for me and then given to me by Gordon. I just love it. Such a treasure. Lots of things that can be found. And then add to it with maybe some gourds that you pick up at the grocery store or the farmer's market, and just a few flowers, and you have the makings for a glorious Thanksgiving. Then go through your cupboards and gather several containers, all similar. It could be clay pots, it could be glassware, it could be cubes. It doesn't matter. But you want a lot of them. So you can just stagger them around, lay them out, different sizes. If you're feeling industrious, go ahead and line one, add water and foam. Then you can do a true arrangement. If you don't have time, don't worry about it. Just the loose containers. Then let the kids go at it. Let them load them up however they want to. Maybe a big one that has sweet gum pods piled in. Then adding just a sprig of their foliage. Doesn't even need to be in water. A few more. And the leaves just stay in place from the pods. They become the anchors. Then adding in maybe one of your special orbs. Maybe two of them piled up. Could be as simple as just a cone perched on the clay or the nest set right on top, and then adding just a few the little acorns right inside the nest, like they were little eggs left over, tucking them in. Maybe going back and adding in the buckeyes, just filling it up. You can see how quickly I end up with a lovely supply of treasures that's ready to strew across the table and be gorgeous. If you do have time, or if you've got older kids or friends that want to help with an actual centerpiece, just go ahead. Take some of the live items, like the fall leaves, and just set them right down in. Starting to build a nest. Maybe some of the rose hips. And loosening them up, they get so tangled. Come out, come out. It's all tangled in there. There we go. Dropping it in. And it doesn't have to have a lot of planning or organization. The random, careless nature is what makes it so fun. So don't worry about perfection. Instead, just think, okay, have fun, stick it in, add a few more leaves. And then once you have a nice base established, go back and add flowers. And this is where you want to be careful. If you get real involved in designing, it takes the fun out of it. Sometimes you're better, just go ahead and cut them short and set them down really close to the foam so that they're low. And you don't have to worry about, are they in the right spot? It doesn't really matter because they're just adding color to the tabletop. You can see this is something you could set a friend to do so that you don't have to worry about taking yourself out of the kitchen, being too busy to enjoy, and just dropping them down in, then go back and add a few more of the findings, maybe the sweet gum. Just set them in. They'll stay in place. They kind of wedge against the other materials and fill in, almost like I was tucking moss in, but instead I'm tucking in pods to fill the holes. One last trick for adding flowers to your decor that could be fun and easy for everyone to participate in. Just use water tubes, just standard tubes, fill them with water, put a cap on, and then cut the cap so that it's not too tight. I cut both directions, sometimes all four directions to get a nice big hole. Then taking your flower, you're going to turn the pot upside down and let the flower go right in through the hole. But the tube is going to stay on the inside. So you determine about how tall do you want it to be. Out there. Maybe you want a little bit of foliage with it. Then taking the flower and the foliage, feed it through the hole, slide it to the edge of your table so you can reach in, and that way you can put the tube in from the bottom and stand it back up, slide it on up, and then let it lay just like so. Do that again in another. And they'll never be straight, and it doesn't matter. That's part of the beauty. And this one, the tube is kind of pushing up a little bit. This one will be a little taller, so it won't. Taking another flower, maybe letting it be even taller, giving it a cut. About there. Some leaves with it. Slide it through to the edge of the table. Find the hole. pushing it through, and then letting it stand. You can see you can angle them all different directions and then intersperse them with the rest of your findings. To finish the tubed flowers, you could add in some findings. Use a glue gun. Just hot melt glue and take the pods, just a little bit of glue, and add them directly to the pot. That way you can also use them to adjust the placement of your flower, because you can push against the stem and get it to stand exactly where you want it to be. So you can adjust things. If you like it to be a little straighter, not so crooked, you can easily just move them around. Glue the pod to support it. Maybe even add a few of the rose hips to bring the color of the orange on down towards the bottom. Just be careful that nobody burns their fingers while they're doing this part. That wouldn't be a fun part of Thanksgiving. You can see the gathering, the assembling. You could easily fill a day, but you could also do it so rapidly. And then when it's time to set the table, just put down your tablecloth and your runner, and then start adding things. And this is one of those wonderful designs so that no matter how little or how big your table is, or how many different tables, you can just adjust the placement by taking things and adding it, just kind of spacing them around. Gotta watch from the bottom so that they don't all just fall through. Checking their positioning. Bringing in the other designs, the treasures. We put this one maybe right over there. Bringing in the little pieces. And it gets to the point where everybody has something special near their space. And in fact, they could become place markers. If you wanted to write the names on the pots, you can have so much fun just adding pieces, adjusting. If you've got a lot of people to help, then you do a lot of pieces. If you have just yourself, then you might not do as many. But you get to choose, you get to play, and you can go back, add in your gourds, just lay them on the tabletop. Maybe set some in the living room on the coffee table. Doesn't all have to be on the table. Obviously, you've got to leave some room for food. Go back to your findings. And maybe even add another just little orb in. Even empty pots. Take them, just lay them down sideways. Let them be part of the decoration that carries your eye all the way down the table. And then a few more of the pods just laid in. You're ready for Thanksgiving. Creating last-minute Thanksgiving decorations can be so much fun. And a tablescape like this can be the basis for grand traditions and wonderful memories. I think back, the inspiration for this came from my grandmother. As a little girl, all the grandkids would come over to help. And there were dozens of us. I came from a large family, and you can imagine dozens of grandkids, just how much help that could be. But my grandmother, she was a very smart woman. She set up tables in the garage, our very own tables, and she provided us with lots of makings to create tablescapes, decor for the dinner. She'd send us out to the fields and the woods behind the house to gather treasures and have us come back. And when we came back, there'd be hot cocoa waiting, and there'd be lots of construction paper, lots of Elmer's glue, and all kinds of little baskets and things. And we'd stand out there for hours creating. What a wonderful memory. And today, I repeat that. A little bit different. No construction paper, no Elmer's glue. But I did use hot glue. I guess I just grew up. For more creative inspiration, check out our website at flowerschool.com. If you've got questions or if you'd want to chat, feel free to contact us. You can reach us by phone at 1-800-819-8089. If email is easier, go ahead and use my personal email. It's Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. It's your turn. What traditions are you going to start? What fun are you going to have with your last-minute Thanksgiving plans? Let me know. Send me a picture, drop me a line. I want to hear about it. Have fun and do something you love.